Welcome back. Thungela Education Initiative aims to improve access to quality education for pupils in the foundation and intermediate phases. It also seeks to provide support for teachers. Thungela Resources is South Africa's pure play producer and exporter of thermal coal. Its 5-year education initiative will be implemented in 2 of the 4 district municipalities in Mpumalanga where the mine operates. To help us now explore on this initiative, we're joined by Mpumi Sithole, who's the head of corporate affairs at Thungela Resources. Mpumi, thank you so much for your time and for joining us this evening. What challenges did you identify as major challenges faced by educators in providing quality education, especially in lower primary schools within the province of Mpumalanga?
Thank you so much, Kitaka, for having me. A number of challenges, but one of the first ones that actually stuck out for us is psychosocial challenges, which actually a shared responsibility that the educators take up upon themselves, given the fact that the learners that are coming through to the gates of the schools are coming with a number of challenges themselves. So they end up having to take the responsibility of being psychologists, of being social workers, before they can actually become teachers. So that was one of the big challenges that we found in terms of the educators, challenges facing educators. And the other challenge that's facing the educators is that in most of these schools, because these are no-fee schools, you find that educators that are responsible for the grade R classrooms do not have the legal requirements actually to be actual teachers. So they could be classified as classroom assistants. So as part of the program, we want to assist the educators and help them get to the level where they need to be operating to ensure that the foundation of teaching that they give to the learners is the appropriate one that will propel the learners to success in the future.
And that foundation level of teaching is very important, because we know that currently more than 80% of South Africa's grade 4 pupils, who are on average 9 or 10 years old, cannot read for meaning. That means they can't answer basic questions about or draw inferences from a text that they are reading. How does this particular initiative then address this problem from a much earlier age?
Look, because we want to start in the foundation phase, and that's why we wanted to focus on this, because we realize that a lot of support that learners at schools receive is mostly concentrated in the high school community, where a lot of corporate companies, a lot of NGOs and NPOs are focusing on grade 10 to grade 12 just to prepare them for tertiary. So there's really a gap in terms of the focus around early childhood development, in terms of your grade R learners right up to grade 3s who are transitioning to intermediate phase. The grade 3s get to move to grade 4, and they face a number of challenges. They could seem like issues that should not be challenges to you and I, but these are challenges that learners are now having to transition from using a pencil to using a pen to write, having to change and alternate periods during the day, from moving to one classroom to the next classroom with different educators. So these problems do not only compound the academic challenges, but they also bring as well those psychosocial issues that I spoke to earlier that the teachers are dealing with. So you have a classroom of grade 4 where an educator is receiving a learner that should be reading for meaning and understanding, but they're not, because they've not had that foundation from grade R1 to up to 4. So that's where our program is going to be focusing on, to make sure that we prepare these learners, so that when they get to intermediate phase, and we know that once we do the foundational work, it will actually set them up, for success in the future.
So, Mpumi, the program seeks to give quality education to pupils and support to teachers. Maybe just expand on how exactly this program is sort of designed to work, and how you'll be starting, I believe, in 2024. So just explain to us on a daily basis, how does it roll out?
So if I look at the grade R cluster, one of the findings, or a number of findings that we picked up when we conducted the baseline assessment, was that the grade R learners do not have adequate outdoor and indoor learning materials. So part of the problem is to make sure that we capacitate the schools with such. Some of the classrooms, I think of the 45 that we are going to be working with, over 30 schools do not have classrooms that are bricks and mortar. So learners are getting their lessons either from containers or precast classrooms. So we'll be building the infrastructure and making sure that the infrastructure is appropriate for the young ones to learn, sleep, and just get the curriculum that is appropriate for them. Some of the schools do not have age-appropriate ablution facilities, so you find these young learners having to share the ablution facilities with the older students in the school. So we want to make sure that we provide infrastructure that speaks to the learners. There are lower hanging fruits in terms of some schools where you find that there are issues around ventilation. There are no fire extinguishers. So we want to capacitate the schools and make sure that they're ready for any eventuality, but also train the educators to use the fire extinguishers, and also put the educators through programs where they can be supported, and make sure that they get to the correct level, NQF level of studying, that they become qualified teachers for the classes that they're teaching.
I mean, you made mention that it's 45 schools, no-fee schools, that you are supporting with this initiative. I'm guessing the 160 million rands that has been invested will go to these initiatives that you're speaking of, the ablution systems, as well as the building of the actual schools.
Absolutely. So the program is a 5-year initiative as a start, although we have, our CEO has committed us that this is a lifetime commitment from Thungela, as long as we operate in Mpumalanga. And also we are partnering with an independent trust that was founded by Thungela, Gulo Community Partnership Trust, which is meant to leave a lasting legacy in communities where we operate. So the 5 years is the initial years of implementation, and we look forward to coming back 5 years later to look at the progress that we've made, and also be able to decide if we feel that we need to extend the program further to other grades, or that we would want to remain in the foundation phase, because we know that there are more challenges that are faced by educators, by learners as a result of their parents. So we really want to make impact into the lives of communities where Thungela operates.
So Mpumi, I mean, this is a collaboration with the Mpumalanga Department of Education. What challenges do you foresee in the rollout of this initiative, and do you have mitigating factors that have been put in place in order to ensure that those challenges are not hindrances?
This is not the first program that will be collaborating with the department, so we have a very good working relationship with the department, and they've worked with us, throughout the time when we wanted to conduct baseline assessments to understand the teaching and educating conditions at schools. They've been part and parcel of the process. They've really held our hands, and we've crafted the program together. So I don't foresee that we will have any issues implementing the program. The principals, the educators, they're really looking forward to the program. We also want to extend the program to parents, getting parents involved at a very early stages of the education of the young ones, just to make sure that they develop fully with the support of the parents. So we're looking forward to also working with the parents and bringing them on board, so that they start getting involved in the education of the development of their children. So the districts that we will be working with are also very excited, looking forward to starting the program. In part, as a result of that, we've set up a steering committee that will include the Mpumalanga Department of Education, Thungela officials, and also we've just appointed a program manager who will actually be managing a number of various specialist institutions that we'll be working with to implement the program. This is a very big program for us, so it's important that we bring in on board companies that are actually in the education space, that understand the challenges on the ground and can help us together with the department to craft solutions that will ensure that the department delivers improved education.
Mpumi, you make mention of the involvement of parents. And when we started this conversation, you highlighted that a lot of challenges that the teachers have are psychosocial challenges in which they have to look out for social issues before they even start to teach. How important is the involvement of the community as a whole, the immediate community to those schools that you're servicing? Because we've seen in many instances where schools start to improve, especially in their marks, it's not just the parents but the surrounding communities of those schools. Are you reaching out to any of those communities in order for them to be able to assist in some of these programs?
We will definitely be reaching out to communities. I think it's very clear that it takes a village to raise children, and working together, the educators, the parents, and we know that the parents are actually the members of the community, and we need communities on board supporting the program and also being involved in understanding how the program is benefiting the schools and eventually the community. We know that when communities are unhappy in terms of service delivery, we start seeing property being destroyed. So it's very important that communities are part and parcel of this program so that they can preserve and protect the infrastructure that we've put in place. So the community aspect is very critical as having teachers on board, as critical as having parents themselves coming together and holding hands with the program to make sure that their children receive the best education.
Lastly, Mpumi, you mentioned that the CEO said this would possibly extend beyond the 5 years as long as Thungela is operating in the province of Mpumalanga. Any plans to extend or expand this initiative to other provinces?
Well, our operations are in Mpumalanga, so our focus area now is in Mpumalanga, but the Gulo Community Partnership Trust is going to be extending its reach. This is a request that we get all the time when we are on the ground engaging with government, municipalities, and stakeholders on the ground, that there are communities that are further than where the mine communities are, and they also communities that are very much in need. So as part of understanding our labor standing areas, we are doing a piece of work to understand the labor that's concentrated in the mining communities, the people that are coming as far as Mhlanga and other areas in Mpumalanga. So it's important for us to bed that down so that we can extend some of these programs to get to where our community members are coming from, who are then coming to work in the mine community. So there is an opportunity for us as soon as we've completed understanding the lay of land in terms of what are those labor sending areas and what are the needs in those areas that requires our attention. We will definitely be delivering some of the programs in the labor sending areas.
All right, Mpumi, thank you so much for your time, and it's always wonderful to see these private-public partnerships that take place, especially in addressing some of these social ills that we have within our communities. Thank you for joining us.